Hello, this is Jo Firth-Young. I am coming to you today to show you a card that I made for the release of the stamp set that I designed with PaperArtsy for Simon Says Stamps for their Stamptember this year. So this is 2024. Hello, everybody. And I wanted to just show you how I created this. And that is what I'm doing this evening. So this is a slightly big card. It is 14.5 wide by 22.5 tall, but you can actually change this and make it whatever you want. So I'm just going to just keep an eye on my, that's it, keep an eye on everything. This is new to me, doing Facebook Lives. Not Facebook Lives, I normally do Facebook Lives. This is YouTube Live, and I think I like it. So let's just have a look. Yeah, so it's very good. So I'm just going to put this here. So that's the card. So this is the stamp set. So I hope the people that were able to get one of these is that you're enjoying using it. I really like it. I think it's going to be a really useful stamp set if you've got it, because it's not just for Christmas. This isn't overly Christmassy. Then you've got this present, and on the present, nowhere on there does it say Christmas, so you could use it all year. We've got these cute little tags, so you could put a person's initials in that and then hang them from here. You could put, if it's for like a 21st birthday or whatever, you could put that in here, or even just a heart if it's for an anniversary. This star is the right size to stamp and then add to here. You don't have to cut the whole, stamp the whole tree again. You can just use the star separately. And these cute little open embellishments here, open motifs here, are larger versions of these. So, oh, and you've got this cute border down here. Love that. So let's just, I'm just tweaking this. Let's open a panel. Let's open the panel. So yes, so at the moment I can't see any comments. If anybody's making any comments, I can't see that. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can't sort that out. No, I can't. Or maybe, and nobody's saying anything. Who knows? But if you are watching, please say something. That would be nice. It's nice to know that you're there. Yeah, so what I wanted to show you as well. So to create this, we need to create, we're going to be, let's move that out of the way. Let's put that over there, and we'll put this. So you can see that I have created colour around this centre panel, and I've done that by masking off this panel, all of it, this design. So what I do is move this out of the way to make it easier. What I do is I get a piece of paper and I stamp the design onto the piece of paper. So that's what I would have done, and that works really nicely. So you can see on this one, I used it with a different project. You see just that sparkle, that is pearl glaze, the gorgeous pearl glaze. But so when I would add colour, you can see how coloured this is getting. So if I wanted to put a different colour on there, there's going to be contamination, isn't there? So my plan for that is I make, what I do is I stamp the image on a piece of copier paper. It doesn't have to be very thick copier paper. It can be thin copier paper. And then what I do is, and I'm going to show you, because I stamp it, and before I cut it out, I cover it in sellotape, and I cover the sellotape on both sides. So let me show you. I mean, it's really simple, but there are a couple of tips so that you know how staticky sellotape can be if you're trying to stamp something and it gets all staticky. So let's just do this just quickly, and it's something that you can use time and time again, really. And because if you could use it for lots of things. So sometimes I design stencils that match my designs, my stamp designs. I didn't for this one. So that is that, all nicely stamped. So let's just pop those back in there, put a magnet on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the whole thing in sellotape, but sellotape is staticky. So if you were to put sellotape on, the paper or the sellotape, sorry, I was just breaking the sellotape in my teeth, it will grab onto the paper, and what you want is for this to be smooth. So big long strip. So you could, this is like parcel packing tape, but you could just use normal sellotape. It's nothing fancy, it's just standard tape. And so I'm just smoothing it down, trying to keep it nice and smooth so there's no wrinkles. And keep it as straight as possible. Sorry, as flat as possible. And then put it right up to the edge. And then we can lift that up. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. Let's just cut that. Where's my big scissors? Need big scissors for that. Because it's just creased up as I've taken it, pulled it off of the desk. But this is just something that you can keep over and over again. So it shouldn't be too staticky now. And the reason I'm doing it both sides is it just makes it stronger. Makes it a bit more durable. So we get lots more use out of it. So any creases, you can just run your finger over them and they will come out. And so then you can just cut it. Cut all that excess off. So I'm just going to squeeze that. If I had my a bone folder would do that, wouldn't it? So a bone folder is going to make that nice and flat. A little bubble there. That's nothing to worry about, it's just a bubble. And so then what we have is a nice, what's going to be a nice stencil and mask. So to cut it out, I'm not going to do all the cutting out because you know how to do that. But what I would do is to get up into there, I would cut with my scissors all the way up to that line that goes around the outside and go around that way and just big continuous line all the way around. And then I would seal this with another piece of sellotape, which you can see here, that it's just an additional piece of tape. It just means that it's not, you know, to go around here with a scalpel would be tricky, and I'm all for making life easy. And what it means is, so here's one, this one I cut out. previously, and this just means that now I can go over this with ink and then just wipe it clean, because now it's clean on both sides. It won't get damp on one side, and it just, you can use it over and over again with any colours. You could possibly even use it with paints, as long as you don't get it too wet, because obviously water might seep in along those edges. But it just means that you can use it over and over again in all different colours. So that is my tip for creating a mask and a stencil for something. Yeah, so that's the tip for that. Okay, so this card that we're doing this evening, or I'm doing this evening, I've made a little thing, made a little pattern. So the craft panel, 14.5 centimeters by 22.5 centimeters. The white panel is 13 by 21 centimeters. So what I've measured is to give myself just under a centimeter going all around to create a nice frame for it. Excuse me, to create a nice frame. So that makes that nice, gives it a bit of a border. The card itself, the panel itself, you can see I've got 3 Christmas trees. This main Christmas tree is flush to the panel. You can see that if I do that. Let's do it that way. You can see that this is flat to the surface, but these two are up on 3D foam. So they are this tree, but I've chopped them off. So this left-hand tree has been chopped off here, and the right-hand tree has been chopped off there. So we need to stamp those, everything. We need to do it 3 times. We have to have 1 main panel and 2 more panels, which I have stamped previously. So I've stamped 2 of them before coming live, and so I've loaded everything up into my stamping platform. So I've got a Crafts 2 stamping platform, and I've put this in position perfectly in the right position for my project. Let's pop that in there. Add in some of those, some magnets to hold everything down. I'm using VersaFine Clair ink. So pop that up there. And when I've positioned this, it's positioned in the middle side to side, but it's slightly higher towards the top. Because we're going to put stuff at the bottom, it just sort of balances it. So that is all stamped out nicely. Let's put these back in there. And I'm just going to give it a quick blast with the heat gun. Just give that a quick. Right, so that's given that a quick blast. So I'm just going to look at my card. So that's the panel. Right, so where is my little thing? So if I wanted to create colour to the inside of my feature block, I wanted to keep the outside clean, I would use the stencil. And I would stencil that off so I can apply colour to this panel. But I want to apply colour to the outside, so I'm putting this in place. So this basically is a mask. And I've got trusty blue tack to hold it in place. So hello to people that are coming in. Thank you for joining me. This is exciting. It's nice actually. It's the same but different. I like it. Right, so that is there. So I could have put a little roll of double-sided, not double-sided tape, masking tape. That would hold it down as well. So I'm using, for the outside, I'm using Salvage Patina Distress ink, which I have re-inked. So because it's sitting up a little bit high, I'm just going to hold it down. The other nice thing about this being slippy is the fact that it's slippy, it's tape, so hopefully everything will just slide really nicely on it. So doing it in exactly the same way as we would always do, come around and just add colour by starting on the mask and then work into the outside. And by that way we'll get a nice sort of blush of colour running around the panel. And we're just going to go round and around and around. And if I lift that up, you can see it's in place. And so I'm getting nice colour on there. And I can just build that colour up until it's as dark as I want it to be. I'm going to be a little bit careful when I come up here to where the branches are, because I don't want to curl them up. I'm being really gentle doing that. I'm always getting around to the top. So I'm just now going up and down just to blend it in. And then we lift that. And so we've got a nice colour running all the way around. So I could make that darker if I wanted to. So let's just, I think I might like to make that a little bit darker. So pop the mask back in place. Right, and that's enough colour for that. So I can just give that a quick wipe with a baby wipe, and then I could use it again for different colours. So it's a big contrast to, this is how I used it the last time. And look how the colour is just, it's non-existent on the new one, isn't it? So it's a good way to do it. Right, so also on here I had some stamped images, and those are these little elements here. So those can go on a block. I know it's a very big block. I couldn't find a smaller one. Where's that mask gone? Let's pop that back, because then I can, so I'm going to stamp in this. I could have used a archival ink as well. So I'm going for kind of a flow look. Let's pop another one up there as well. And then that will look as if it's running behind the panel. The other thing I do to this panel is just give a little bit of, where is my sample? Here it is. just a little bit of shading up here and under here, and it just makes it look as if it's popped off of the surface, as if I've 3D mounted that panel. And also what it will do is, if my mask isn't quite in place, so you can see there's a little white line, adding that little bit of shadowing will just disguise that. And I can come all the way down if need be. And I just think it's nice, it just pops it off of the surface a little bit. Makes it just that little bit dimensional. And while I have the grey pencil in my hand, I'm just going to do some of these branches as well. And down the side of the trunk. Because then that will make it look as if the tree is dimensional. So that's popped those up. I might move the camera down a little bit. That's better, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to add, we're going to colour, I'm going to colour this in pencil. So of course, when I'm doing the trees, I don't have to colour all the branches of all the trees. So on this one, I'm only going to do one set of branches. This one I'll do 2, and this one will be all 3. And it's really nice, and I'm going to sit down. Simple to colour up. So that you don't have to do them all the same colour. You could have, like, one of the trees could be darker than the others. You can just mix it up. So I'm using Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, and that needs to be a bit more orangey, doesn't it? Let's have a bit more orange. And so all the stars will be coloured, so I'm just going to colour all the stars. Let's make this one a little bit more orangey. But then add in some of those colours, because we want all the colours to match together. Sorry, let's get everything in the centre. Actually, a nice ochre is a nice colour, isn't it? What's this? I always think I think this is ochre. Is it? Yeah, ochre. I always think that's quite close to gold, isn't it? You could use a gold pencil to add a bit of shine if you wanted to. That would be cool. Right, okay, so greens. So you could go for olive greens, you could go for Christmas tree greens. So this is 167. That's quite Christmassy. And there is one that's actually called fir tree. Not that one. pine green. So that is pine green, and that is number 267. So you could mix them both. So if I make this 1, and we'll do this one 2, and then that one's complete. So let's add in some dark. And then under here, I always think there would be dark. And definitely up into where the branches meet themselves, that's going to be dark. So I'm going in sort of up and down movement, because that's what trees are like. You'll have the branches, and especially pine trees. So I'm colouring it, but I am being quite loose with the colouring. So that's 1, and then this one is going to have 2 branches. So you can spend as much time on finessing your branches as you would like. So I can't. So this is, you can tell this is my favourite pencil, can't you? Just by the length of it. And that is number 168. So it's close in number to 167. So I'm doing this one a little bit lighter. And then going in with the other 2. So it's like a very light spruce. And then going in with the, what is this, pine green. And down into this one. So again, just making quite jaggedy movements with my pencil. I mean, you could do it in layers like that. So if I do it on this layer is going to be cut off, but you could do that all the way around. A jaggedy movement like that, because that's what fir trees look like, don't they? They have that kind of... So you could do that. And so this one, this is the main tree. And so let's put that in first. So this one I have to be a little bit more careful going around the edges. I wasn't so careful on these because these two, because of course they get cut out, don't they? But this one I have to colour within the lines. As I've coloured it like that, this one looks like it's it's covered in snow down to here, doesn't it? The only bits that are green are the edges of the branches, makes it look like the rest of it's in snow. So what, you could do these where all of your trees are covered in snow. That would be cool. So you don't see any of the green at all. That would be good. So many options. You could stamp these trees onto patterned papers and cut them out, and then you could have patterned branches. I like doing that. So it looks like it's been appliqued on. Whoops, I'll rub that out. A bit carried away with my zigzagging then. Let's find a rubber. I'm rummaging around in my pencil case for a rubber. Which will probably end up being on the desk somewhere. Oh, there it is. Found it. There we are, let's take another. What was I looking for? A little bit of a grey pencil. Where's my colour charty thing? There we go. That's actually a really nice colour for, so this is juniper green and this is 165. 165. So that's nice. So that just would just tone it all together, I think. It's nice. And this just has a sort of a lighter colour. It's just helping it all blend. Oh, because we're not doing that. So now all I need to do, sorry, is to cut these out. So I cut these right above the stem. And I'm going to save these bits and I'll show you why in a moment. And then just trimming up all inside these branches. So I cut across like that, which means that I can then go up in between, and I find that easy. go over here and follow this round. So I think this is not a bad one to cut out. It's nice straight lines. Careful to not cut the tree star off the top. And just cut up into there. And get right up into the little point so that little things drop out. Luckily, I'm only cutting out 3 branches of a tree. So it's actually just one complete tree, actually, I've just realised. It looks like you're cutting out 3 whole trees, but of course you're not, are you? I'm not. When you're doing this, it's one complete tree cut into 3. That's how I'm thinking of that. And it's nice and easy to cut out. Oh, I wish I'd done one earlier and then I could say, and here's one I cut out earlier, but I don't. But the second one will be much quicker because I'm only cutting 1 set of branches out. So that's that. Oh, I almost lost a star then. Right, so I'm going to put this in place. So this is the card. I'm going to put that there for a second and find my panel. So there's the finished card. Let me move you up a little bit. There we go. Move you up. And just going to stick the card onto the panel because once I start, it's easier to stick the feature panel onto the back, onto the mounting, onto the craft card, and then stick these down rather than stick the trees on and then put it on, working backwards. So that tree is going to go there, and then the other one goes on the other side. So let's just pop this up onto double-sided tape. And one down the middle for good measure. And then I'm eyeballing that straight and center. And then these are going to be stuck down onto 3D foam because we want them to pop off. Let me find my scalpel or pokey tool. So we are going to add one little foam in the center, and then one down here, so you just want it so it's just going to be supported and hopefully it won't get too battered. I want it to be a little bit supported. So I'm going to add some other little bits. What I use the excess a lot of the time on these sheets of foam, because then hopefully we'll get it and I can cut it to be as thin as I like, and I can just put it down onto those little branches and it can be nice and thin. I don't want it to be seen. Do want to have a little bit there on the end of the trunk so it doesn't fall over. Let's just cut that a little bit thinner. And I think I'm just going to put one teeny tiny little bit there. Take the back ends off. Okay, so, oops. My desk was super tidy. Now not so much. It's creative, that's what it is. Okay, so this one is down in this corner. And we're going to set them at different heights. So that one can sit there. Like nice and straight. And I don't like them so it looks like they're, you know, levitating. So we need to add a bit of ground. Like that. And then the tree that's actually on the background, that also needs grounding. Otherwise, you know, they're just floating. We don't want floating trees. Right, so I won't cut this one out. I will. Let's just do it. Let's get it. We'll finish it up. There's only one set of branches, isn't it? So we'll cut this one out as well. While I tell you why I saved the excess from around the trees, so I didn't just throw them in the bin. I kept them so that I could make little tags out of it. So just let me cut around this. Because there's all that lovely Christmas text in there. Here and down here. And if I'd cut that out more carefully, I could have used that as well. And what I did was I cut them out and I made them into teeny tiny tags. So that excess is now teeny tiny tags. So that is, that must have been up there, or Sparkle, Holly and Ivy is the bit I cut off there. And then I think that was another one because I had two of them. And then Tinsel, I think, is down here. So you can see you can cut out these little panels. You could cut that into a square, and you could cut that into a square and then mount one of the stars in the middle, couldn't you? And use it like that. So don't just discard these bits, use them for something. They're quite useful. And then you could have a little tag hanging from here with the text on. So if you imagine, where's the one I coloured? You could hang that up there, like that. You could isolate it and just put it to another, you could put it to use. Also, you could turn them, cut them into circles. Get yourself a punch, use a punch or a die, cut a circle and use it that way. Oh, sorry, you can't see. I'm cutting out parcels. Not parcels. Tree. Okay, one more bit to cut around. And just to mix it up a little bit, I'm going to put this one direct onto the surface. I'm going to flush mount it, not mount it onto 3D thingies. Just to mix it up a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm completely out of shot. I was so busy cutting out, I didn't realise I was out of shot. I was cutting out. You could probably hear me snipping. One more cut. And there we are. And so this one will come down here and sit sort of there-ish. So let me grab some glue. I'm gonna have some glue. I've got to find the glue. You'd think I'd find the glue. There it is. So this is going to go up into this corner. And of course it needs grounding. No more levitating trees. Just going to colour that in. And that is the card. So I have added also on here gems, and you can add those wherever you like. You can use whatever colour you want. So I went full on Christmassy and used reds and pink, because I'm a big fan at the moment about mixing red and pink. I like that a lot. But you could use whatever you want. You could just go for very traditional, use golds. It's you know, they are your trees and they can be whatever colour you would like. You might just want to put on all clear gems, so it was just sparkly. Oh no, don't want all pinks on all the same side. Mix them up a bit. And a nice line around the outside of the card to finish it. Oh, and some white pen as well, because you know, we all know everything looks better when you've added white pen to it. So just a little bit of white pen for snow. And again, you can put as much or as little on as you like. but I do like a bit of white pen. What I'm looking for is a thicker black pen. Where do they all go, the pens? Where do all the pens go? Oh, that's better. Let's... And then just freehand draw all the way around the outside. Lift that branch up. So if you are happy to do so, this would be nice if you went around this on a sewing machine to create that border. That's nice. It just adds another something, doesn't it, to the page. So that is the card. I might leave that there because I quite like that. So it's more colour on this one. So it's just a mix up. It's the same but different. But you could add a tag. That up there, I would just punch a hole. In fact, I might just staple it. My tiny attachers run out of thingies, staples. That's because I use it so much. It's a small but mighty piece of kit. It just seems to staple through anything. Let's pop that in. There we go. And I always tap it with a hammer, just so it's nice and smooth and it doesn't catch on anything. So there we go. So there's more colour and there's more stamping on this one, but this one has the tag and it's just brighter. Same but different. Nice variation on the idea. So there we are. Thank you all very much for coming along and for watching. If you don't subscribe to the channel, please do so. That would be fun. And I hope to do this more because I think it's quite a nice way to do things. So watch this space and hopefully I'll be putting more videos up onto my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook page. So again, thank you all very much and I will see you all soon. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments and I will answer them for you. Have a lovely creative, I was going to say weeks, because I might come back next week and do mini books because somebody asked me to do that, so I might come and do that. So that might be next week. I shall let you know. But I will see you all very soon. Thank you very much and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.